Ghost Hunting in New England,
your favorite spooky podcast. Hello and happy Wednesday. Welcome to this week's episode of Ghost Hunting in New England with your hosts Amelia
and Beth.
Beth, I must say thank you so much because today, similar to last year, you dropped off some really cool Halloween leggings for me.
I did. They were fun.
They are very fun. I am very excited to wear them. I still wear the ones you got me last year all the time.
Yeah, I wear mine too. They're very comfy. I mean, I don't like wear them out in public or anything, but they're great pajama pants.
Oh, I wear mine to work.
Well, I work in an office. And by an office, I mean my living room.
So, you got anything else? Or should we just jump in?
I think we should jump in.
All right, let's jump on in.
Okay.
So, today we're talking about something really cool and interesting.
We always talk about things that are really cool and interesting.
Yes, but today it's even cooler and more interesting than usual because today we are talking about haunted inns and hotels in New Hampshire.
Very, very focused.
So, Beth, I heard a rumor that you've actually stayed in some haunted hotels before. Is that true?
I have, yes. And I'm going to talk about one of them.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Our first ghost hunt together was in a haunted inn.
It was. This is true.
The Wayside Inn.
Yes.
We went there with the Boston Paranormal Investigators, and we had such a nice time.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we left a little early, and they got all the evidence after we left. But
well, they got like all the evidence in the middle of the night. Like, so even if we had stayed until 11 o'clock or so, like they didn't really get anything until about 3 a.m. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I was not going to stay until 3 a.m.
No, neither of us were. That's why we left.
Right. It was time to go.
It's time to go. But we had a lot of fun with them there and a lot of good conversation. It was awesome to see the grounds. We had a nice dinner. They have a nice restaurant. We had a good dinner there.
It was a delicious dinner.
Delicious. But you know what? That's not what we're talking about today because that's in Massachusetts and we are up in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
I think you should go first because you have 2 stories tonight and I only have 1.
Oh, yes.
It was a very busy week.
So my first hotel of the evening, Beth, is the Notchland Inn. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
I'm going to tell you all about it.
Okay, I'm listening.
The Notchland Inn is located off of Route 302 in Hart's location, New Hampshire. And that is a really weird name of a town. Hart's location. The inn has been in operation since the 1920s. Notchland's traditions of hospitality are largely linked to Abel Crawford's 18th century Mount Crawford house, which stood on the property, and whose tavern now serves as the dining room at the inn. The property has 8,000 feet of the Saco River running through it. Longtime listeners will remember when Will Fox and I discussed just how haunted the Saco River is. The property also contains 2 of the area's finest swimming holes. When you arrive at the Notchland Inn, you may notice something peculiar in the front parlor. The headstone of Nancy Barton.
Wait, there's a headstone in the hotel?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes. Nancy has a lot of things named after her. On one border of the property flows the Nancy Brook. It flows from Nancy Pond atop Nancy Mountain, all of which were named after Nancy Barton. The headstone reads, 1778, Nancy Barton died in a snowstorm in pursuit of her faithless lover.
Ooh.
I know.
Well, what was he? He was shacking up with the neighbor in a snowstorm and she went out and got lost?
Let's find out.
Okay.
Nancy was engaged, but her faithless husband-to-be ran off with her dowry before the wedding.
Oh,
what a jerk.
That's awful because that's all that she had to go on. And now not only does she have no husband, but she can't even get another one because she doesn't have the money to buy one.
That's like my biggest fear.
Ugh.
It's awful. Well, I guess I know that's not my biggest fear. My biggest fear is like someone thinking I have money and then like running
I was
off
going to
with
say,
it.
do you have a dowry?
No, I don't have a dowry. And I realize
Okay.
that like people can't read my thoughts, and that's exactly what they would have thought. Like my biggest fear is someone running off with my dowry. But no, that's not it. No, it's very sad, you know. She got played.
Mm-hmm.
She got played.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Boo, boo, boo. Off with her dowry. Before the wedding, rather than just accept what had happened, she set out on foot to find the guy. But unfortunately, it was caught in a terrible snowstorm and froze to death.
I hate when that happens.
Her friends found her frozen body next to the brook that now bears her name.
I wonder what it was called before that.
It was 1778. It was probably just called the brook.
Okay.
So while Nancy died in 1778, it is said she now haunts the Notchland Inn. The inn was built on the property. She went to look for her lover and ended up dying. And anyway, now she's there. So I can't make up my mind how I feel about these hauntings. I'm like, are they romantic? Are they creepy? Are they sarcastic? Are they like stalkery? Like what?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards like clingy with this one because clearly she was clinging to the fiance who left her, and now she's clinging to the hotel who.
Maybe, but with the fiance thing, as a fiance, and thank God Pavel is in one room over, because if he went running away, and I don't have any money, but if he like, I don't know, took my microphone and was just like, bye, I would go look for him on foot to beat his bum.
Oh, for taking, I would figure like if he took Liddy, I would think a microphone, you just buy
Liddy
another
would beat him
microphone.
up. Don't worry about that.
Liddy can take care of herself.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. Okay. So here are some of the weird hauntings. So one couple took a nap mid-afternoon, and when they awoke, the name Abigail was written in steam on the mirror in their bathroom. But no one had been in the bathroom. Like there was no reason for steam. Like no one had taken a shower. Like steam just showed up and the name Abigail was written in it. Creepy.
Okay.
And you got to be like, where's this name Abigail even come from?
So my gut tells me that the people who stayed in the room before them had somebody named Abigail, probably a child, who wrote her name on the mirror. And I don't know, maybe there was like a steam radiator that turned on.
So my gut feeling is that this couple, with the man, was having an affair with someone named Abigail, and the ghost, because she had been a scorned lover, wrote the name. Like, I know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely a different interpretation.
Yeah. The next account states that the husband of a couple who had stayed there several times woke up from his afternoon nap. That's not the scary part. The scary part is that he noticed someone had left some fresh flowers in the room. He just assumed the flowers were from his wife. He then said he got up to go to the bathroom and someone had written "Happy Anniversary" on the mirror in lipstick. He left the bathroom to go back to the bedroom, but the flowers were gone. He then turned back to the bathroom and the writing on the mirror had disappeared too.
What's with all these people taking naps? When was the last time you got to take a nap? I'd very much like to take a nap.
I love taking naps. When I was a kid, my mom took a nap every afternoon. Half hour. She did. Around 3. Okay. She had a cup of tea and then she took a half-hour nap.
Good for her.
Yep. Okay. Other guests say they have felt a presence in their rooms, but they all say this presence has been friendly, as there has never been any unpleasant paranormal experiences in the Notchland Inn. Which, I mean, God bless the Notchland Inn. We should probably say, like, we don't know for sure there's anything unpleasant. All I'm saying is, like, if I'm in a hotel and there's lipstick written on the mirror and then it disappears, that's not pleasant to me. I don't find that pleasant.
No, that's not comforting.
No.
I mean, if like housekeeping or something had come in while he was napping, although that's completely inappropriate, you know, like that's okay. But then it just like weirdly disappeared. Like, no, I think I would probably check out.
I would like
no,
it.
I'm going to go stay at the non-haunted hotel across the street.
But also, like, I'm like glued to my phone. Like, I have a real phone problem. And I feel like if I walked in somewhere and there was like lipstick on my, like, I would take a picture of it immediately.
Okay.
And then if it disappeared, I'd have another picture. So I'd have proof of a ghost finally. That's my story.
Okay. That was a fun story.
Thanks.
Do you want to hear about the Balsams?
Yeah.
Okay. There used to be a radio station in Boston. It was called Mike, a 93.7 Mike FM. And I listened to it every day while I was at work. Mike FM had a bunch of different contests. And you could go and like you'd take surveys and stuff and you'd earn points. And so I would enter these different contests with my points. And I won some small things, you know, like a t-shirt or, you know, like a bumper sticker. I think I won one time. But the best prize I won was a weekend trip for two to stay at the Balsams in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire.
That's a pretty sweet gift.
It was an amazingly sweet gift, especially as a newlywed.
Wow.
So Sean and I got married in October. Our anniversary is actually on Tuesday.
Happy anniversary. How many years?
14.
Wow.
14 years.
14 years. And you guys were dating like 5 before you got married, right?
No, it was like just over 3 years.
Oh.
We met when I was 21, so.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So anyway, so we were newlyweds and that was a pretty amazing prize. So it was the following summer, I believe. So we were still within that 1 year newlywed period. And we picked a really fabulous summer weekend and we drove up north. It was the closest at that point I had ever come to Vermont. At one point the road going north, it was like, go over that bridge and you're in Vermont. But we had to not go over the bridge and go the other way. But and it was weird. I mean, it was like probably 10 years after that before I actually went to Vermont.
Wild.
Yeah, strange stuff. So I don't actually recall anything paranormal happening while we were there, although Sean will tell you it was completely abnormal for the rooms to not have TVs. So he had to go down to the bar downstairs in the hotel itself to watch the baseball games each night. And have you ever stayed in a hotel that didn't have a TV in your room?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking a bed and breakfast.
Oh, no, I've never stayed in a hotel. I have stayed in bed and breakfast. Like that,
right, like in a bed and breakfast, I would expect like no TV in the room, but not in a hotel. So that was, I mean, it was about getting the guests of the hotel to come down and be social with each other, you know, which is what it succeeded in doing. But it was just kind of strange. So anyway, I'm pretty excited to talk about the Balsams because I was there.
Yay.
And as just kind of another little side note, you may have heard about Dixville Notch and the Balsams Hotel. The town of Dixville Notch has the distinction of being one of the very first places to vote, count, and report their results in presidential primaries.
And what's the population, Beth?
I tried to find that. Is it 6 people?
I think it's 6 people.
I thought it was 7 people, but I couldn't actually find it. I did find an article that said that they had to have 5 people. What are you going to do? Look it up and show me up here? They had to have 5 people on their election committee, right? Their election officials or something. And so one guy moved into town like 48 hours before the election to fill that spot so they could actually have their election.
12 people.
12 people. Okay. So 100% of the residents have to vote for the vote to be official. So all 12 people in Dixville Notch have to report at midnight and cast their votes. And they all go to the ballot room. Yet there's actually a room at the inn specifically designated for the midnight voting, and it's called the ballot room. And a lot of this stuff I learned actually when I went there. But they all cast their votes together and then they report them. So it's just kind of a neat little fact about the hotel. They've been doing that since 1960, I want to say. They were like given permission to be their own precinct for voting. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of a neat thing. Anyway, okay. So the Balsams Hotel itself was built just after the Civil War as a summer inn with 25 rooms. And it was originally called the Dix Hotel. Yeah. Ha ha ha. DIX. Okay. It's pretty far north in New Hampshire, and over the years, it became a bit of an oasis for people who suffered from allergies. The forests around the Balsams, they don't have a high quantity of ragweed producing plants. So people who could afford it began to flock to the area in the late 1980s. So they would go and stay for a few weeks while their allergies kind of came and went, and then they would head back south. It has been renovated and added on to continuously since its first opening, but by 1918, the single largest expansion was complete, and the hotel could serve 400 guests at once. Over the years, there have been buildings added and demolished, rooms remodeled, new facilities built, and then rebuilt, and then removed. And it seems no owner is ever able to make the inn their own thing. And every 10 years or so, a new owner takes over and remodels some part of the inn to their own liking. And when we went, it was really empty, which struck me as so strange because we were there like in August and it should have just been packed with all sorts of people. But it was really, I don't want to say it was like a ghost town, but it was kind of like a ghost town there. We were able to do like all the different stuff. We went out and we got one of those little paddle boats and we went out on, there's a lake out there that you can go on. And we went for like nice little, like nature walks in the woods. And we tried to ride bicycles, but I didn't have any closed-toed shoes, so they wouldn't let me ride a bicycle. Anyway.
What are you, 6? Like, you can't ride it. You don't have closed-toed shoes. You're an adult woman.
Apparently I wasn't.
Oh my goodness.
I was 25. Okay. So with all of the guests, owners, residents, voters, remodeling, and everything going on, it's not hard to believe a few guests have never left. The Balsams is home to several spirits. Some of them are known and some of them are more unknown. The most commonly seen spirit is the Vanishing Beauty. Her tale originates with a doorman heading up the grand staircase and seeing a woman lounging in a chair at the top of the stairs. He thought it was a guest, and then he realized it was after midnight, and the clothing was very outdated. So he did a double thought and turned to head back down the stairs because this must be a ghost. And then his sensible brain told him to stop being silly, and he turned back around to go up the stairs because ghosts aren't real, and she disappeared. So I'm pretty sure he quit right after that.
And I'm pretty sure ghosts are real. No.
I am too, but sometimes we have to take a little bit of.
No, I thought you were saying like the guy said that.
Yeah,
so I was saying it to the guy.
That's what I was saying. This is my poetic license that I take with telling people stories. Other people report her laughing in the main dining room during social functions, but when they try to find her, she's gone. There's another man who was walking down a hallway on his way into the dining room, and he saw the reflection of a beautiful woman in the mirror on the wall. And as he turned to where the beauty must have been standing to catch the reflection that way, like it's kind of like weird angles, he was startled to find there was no one else in the hallway with him.
Ooh.
Right? Like that. Ooh. I would be a little frightened if there was a person in the mirror who I couldn't actually see near me. I would also be very frightened that it was in fact myself and I didn't recognize myself.
Spooky.
Right? Like, have you ever had that happen? You like look in the mirror and you're like, who is that? Like, oh, that's me.
No, never, Beth.
Never?
Never. Does that happen to you a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot, but it has happened to me.
That
I didn't recognize myself when I looked in the mirror. And it's not just that like I looked.
Is this like an existential thing?
I don't know. I feel like one of the things that like that sometimes it happens right before I get a migraine. That my brain just stops working properly. So, would you like to hear about the naked man?
Yes. Always.
So the naked man, he is seen in room 120. And, I feel like there are some ghosts that we've talked about on here that got names that I certainly would not want to have as a name. Right? I would not like
George?
to be.
Like George?
No, like the naked man. And I feel like there was another one that we talked about. He got like a bad nickname.
Well, is he naked?
The naked man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Well, then that's on him. He can't be mad about that. That's on him. He did that one to himself.
So what happens with the naked man is that guests who are staying in room 120, he only arrives in room 120. They'll be sleeping, and there's, this woman tells the story of she wakes up in the middle of the night, and there's a man naked and soaking wet standing at the foot of the bed. And she's like, so she thought it was her husband when she saw him, and I don't know either, right? And so but you wake up in the middle of the night, you're not really sure what's going on, and she looks over and she's like, well, are you all right? And to her shock and surprise, her husband is laying in bed next to her and goes, I'm fine. Do you see that too? The husband woke up and also saw the naked man standing at the end of the bed. And the wife realizes then that she can actually see through the naked man. He's like translucent. And so the naked man looked at them for another minute or so, and then he just faded out and disappeared.
No, thank you.
So people think that the naked man may actually be a band leader from the 1930s who lived at the hotel, but who drowned in Lake, I think it's Gloriette. That's the lake that Sean and I got the little paddle boat and went paddling around on. But it's right there on the property. And so that's like, naked guy in our room in the middle of the night. There are other ghosts there as well. There's a whole bunch of different ghosts that hang out there. So there's a trio of elderly women that they just show up from time to time, and they're sitting somewhere together and they're just laughing until people, like actually focus on them, and they're like, what is going on over there? And then they just disappear.
Nice.
There's a one-armed man who shows up from time to time. He'll just pop into somewhere and, I'm a one-armed guy. They have like the usual, like the flushing toilets, the cold spots, stuff like that goes on. Then there's this other kind of creepy thing that they refer to as the others.
Ooh, don't like that.
Well, right. Except nobody's really sure who or what the others is, or if it's only one the others, or if there's multiple of them, because nobody can really like get a good look at it. Whatever this figure is that appears, and a lot of people seem to think that it's a male figure, the figure will appear, and before the staff or the guest or whoever sees it can point it out to whoever they're with, the other disappears and it's just gone. They just, and that to me is that's definitely creepy. Like, it's just a flash and then gone. But enough people are seeing this over and over and over again that they got a name of the others. Can I also tell you that there are tunnels?
Cool.
So the tunnels, because they have all of these different buildings, and like we've talked about before, when tunnels are built, especially here in New England, it's usually to keep people out of the elements during the cold weather so that they can move from building to building without getting lost in a snowstorm like your friend in your story. So in the 1990s, apparently there was a factory nearby that closed down, and the factory had a whole bunch of mannequins. And so the mannequins...
I'm already creeped out.
Oh, just wait. For some reason, the mannequins are stored in the tunnels beneath the hotel. And they've been sitting there for years and years and years and years. And so they're rotting, and like there's pieces of them falling out. And people who work there and have done construction over the years there, they will usually end up like terrified of the tunnels. And so they go down there in groups of 3, and they all stay together in groups of 3 with big bright lights. And I wasn't able to find any actual stories of anything that happened in the tunnels with any sort of paranormal or ghostly stuff, but I imagine it's just terrifying. You're down there, the wiring is old and it's usually pretty damp, and so the lights won't always stay on. They'll go off for no reason. The mannequin people are hanging around down there, and it's just creepy. There's also reports that in the basement of the Balsams Hotel, the original structure there, that there are bodies buried in the basement.
Oh, no.
So there's just all sorts of shenanigans going on at the Balsams Hotel. But if you want to go stay there, unfortunately, it is closed at the moment. It closed down in 2017 when yet another new owner took over to do some renovations. And hopefully it'll be opened up again in the future and people can go and they can check it out. But it's like way, way up north, like throw a rock and you hit Canada sort of north. So, but it's beautiful. I've been there and it was just lovely.
New Hampshire touches Canada?
Yes.
Really?
I'm so disappointed that...
Oh my God, it does.
What did you think was north of New Hampshire?
Maine?
No, that's east of New Hampshire.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Vermont also touches Canada. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I knew that.
And New York. That touches
that
Canada too.
Well,
I know, like you, if you go up 95, you have to go through New Hampshire and then into Maine. But I thought
that's how I get to Maine.
Well, that's how everybody has to get to Maine.
Well, that's why I thought it was above it.
Well, but that's just a little tiny small section of New Hampshire.
Okay. Do you want to hear my next story?
Sort of. Definitely.
Okay. The Tilton Inn is in, you guessed it, Tilton, New Hampshire.
Yay!
It is often
what do I get as a prize for guessing correctly?
Nothing. It is often called the 1875 Inn because guess what? It was
built in 1875?
You got it!
Woo! All right, I got 2 right tonight. I definitely need a donut.
I'll bring you 2 donuts tomorrow.
Okay.
I've never been, but I like the photographs of it because it's white and it has like the porch at the bottom and then the long porch all the way around the second floor.
Ooh.
It's very old-timey looking.
Okay.
In addition to its 2 porches, it also has 10 rooms available for visitors. Each room has a different theme attached to it, and all are named after people who have been affiliated with the Tilton area in the past.
I would like to stay in the non-haunted room, please.
Well, that could be hard.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, foreshadowing. Located on the 3rd floor are 3 rented apartments. At some point, the inn was also the site of the Tilton jailhouse, which was located on the lower level of the inn. The Tilton Inn has had a few famous guests, including but not limited to Thomas Edison and Henry Ford. In addition to notable guests, it's also very interesting to note the Tilton Inn has burnt down 3 times. For some reason, their website says it was about 100 years in between each fire. And they should probably fix that because it was built in 1875, right?
It was built in 1875, and if there was 100 years between the fires, so that's 1975. It's only 2020.
There were 3 fires.
But with 100 years between them?
Yes.
So if you had 1 fire in 1875 and 1 fire in 1975, when is your 3rd fire? 2075? Because that's 50 years from now.
That's what I just said. That for some reason, that's what their website says, and they need to fix it.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I didn't catch that's what the website says.
Okay. A total of 8 people have died in the inn, a combination of fire and illness. It has undergone a lot of rebuilding and remodeling and is said that each time it is worked on, the hauntings become stronger.
Bum, bum, bum.
One of the fires is said to have claimed the life of a 12-year-old girl named Laura. Laura's family lived in the Sanborn Room in the 1800s, and her spirit is said to roam the inn. The girl's ghost is said to make herself known throughout the building, mostly through cold spots felt in the rooms down to the dining room and everywhere else in between. The staff has reported that Laura also loves to play pranks and move things around. Her image has also been captured in digital photographs during paranormal investigations. During these sessions, people have also been able to collect her voice represented on clear EVPs. Laura is not the only ghost in this historical inn. Some people claim to have experienced hauntings as a result of the jailhouse that was once on the lower level. Sudden cold spots have been felt where the cells once were. There is also a spirit of a man who stayed in the inn. Stories kept by the inn tell the man had taken his own life in one of the rooms. His lifeless body was found by the cleaning woman the next day. The staff believes that he is a troubled ghost that remains behind and haunts the inn. On many occasions, staff members have gone into the room where he died and have found that the bed had been made up perfectly in complete disarray. In one amazing photograph captured, there reveals an apparition that appears to be lying down on the length of the bed. 2 other female apparitions have been seen walking around the property, and guests often claim to be woken up by the feeling of someone stroking their hair.
Ew.
I know, right?
Ew.
On the Sogan Paranormal Investigators website, the inn owner is quoted as saying that a woman once grabbed her arm and gave her a photograph of Laura, the ghost. And then the woman disappeared, meaning that like a ghost gave her the photograph.
That's crazy.
I know.
I didn't know ghosts could hand us stuff.
It's wild. In 2010, the TV show Ghost Hunters came in and they said the inn was haunted as well. And they even got a few EVPs while they were there too. And that's the story of the Tilton Inn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lots of photographic evidence. I feel like we don't get a lot of photographic evidence.
No. And I couldn't find any of these photos. But if you own the Tilton Inn and you're listening, feel free to send them to us.
Yeah. We would like to see those.
Love to see them. Be great.
You want to talk about Night of 1,000 Faces now?
Sure.
Okay. So at the VCA Animal Hospital, they do it every year. It's a big fundraiser for them. They put out 1,000 pumpkins that they're all carved into different jack-o'-lantern faces. And it's this big, like, long, spooky walk through the woods. They have 2 different haunted trails that you can walk down. And like the high schoolers, they dress up and they jump out and scare you and stuff. It's great fun. It's like $5. And you get in the line and you walk through and you see all of these just amazing carved pumpkins. It's terrific.
I will go.
Okay.
When is it?
It's usually only for 2 nights.
What nights?
One moment. Ooh, actually, so because we can't have 4,000 people walk through, like tons of people come and see this. They're gonna do live streaming.
Oh.
So we can watch it at home.
But
right,
did you know
it's
you
going to
can
be next Friday and Saturday, the 23rd and 24th, starting at 7.
We will put a link on our Facebook.
Cool.
If you want to see some real life pumpkins, I heard there's one down in Providence that you can drive through.
Yes, I heard that one was really good, and I saw some great pictures of it. And people said that it takes like 7 minutes to drive through, so they were wondering if it was worth it because it's only 7 minutes that I saw.
That's what she said.
I can't even. Based on the pictures that I saw, it totally was worth it because they look pretty amazing. I haven't had time to drive down to Providence this year. Sorry. I wasn't even thinking I would have time to go walk the pumpkin walk. But if I can just sit here and like eat donuts and watch it on my computer, I might be okay with that.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, Beth. Well, it seems like this is our last episode before our big Halloween episode.
Are we having a big Halloween episode? I feel like I was supposed to write something.
You were.
Oh, man. I'm going to have another very busy week.
You sure
All
are.
right. So apparently I am writing a 2-voice screenplay.
Or we'll do something else. Whatever. We'll see.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's going to be cool. It's going to be great. We do have some mail from people.
Ooh,
we got
mail.
What?
Ooh, mail.
Mail. We got 1 review, 5 stars. So thank you so much. But you didn't leave any comments, so I don't have anything to read. But yeah, if you guys listening to this, I know tonight we're feeling a little out of sorts, but leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah.
that's only positive. That's just putting positivity into the world. Oh, I also have something. I have a request. Please leave us a 5-star review. I have another request. So I think I cured it last night. But I was like very sure I had the evil eye. And so if anyone has like ways to get rid of the evil eye that they want to send to me, like please send it to me.
One review and a request for an evil eye cure.
I got an evil eye bracelet.
But wouldn't that mean that you definitely now have the evil eye?
No, Beth, you don't even know how any of it works.
I definitely don't.
No, you wear this kind of like, it's blue and white and looks like an eye. It's blue. And that wards off the evil eye. It's called an evil eye pendant, but it wards off the evil eye.
Seems a little backwards. You would think that an evil eye warding off thing would be like a nose.
Well, Beth, I don't know. It's only one of the oldest superstitions in all of civilization, so.
Have you been up to Pentagram yet?
I have not, but you know who has? One of our
Paul?
listeners. Her name is Donna.
Okay.
And Donna said she went up to Pentagram and Tim helped her pick out some really great stuff. She told him she heard about him on the show.
Yay.
Yes, yay. So I am really happy to hear about that. I think that we should, you and I, wait till after Halloween to go to Pentagram. Because I hear that Salem's a little crowded right now and not everyone's super happy about it. So I think that we should just continue to support Salem throughout the year.
Okay.
Not just
we can do that.
Yeah, we'll give him a little November boost.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other person who reached out to me, his name is Steve. And he is from
Steve.
Hi, Steve. He reached out to me and he's from New Hampshire and he's also a vegan and he also listens to the show. And he gave me a good recommendation for a restaurant in New Hampshire. Given that this episode's about New Hampshire, I'm sure that he will listen. So thank you, Steve. He sent me a very encouraging message and it really made my week because I was having a difficult week.
Is it a haunted restaurant in New Hampshire or is it a vegan restaurant in New Hampshire?
It's a vegan restaurant. We have Jesse, the blacksmith, who has left us reviews before. He said the Tim Regan is awesome. And it was a fun podcast that we did with him. It's true. It was.
Cool. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you. We had
Legends and Folklore of New England. Bridget and Molly.
Yes. They put us on their social media because they're really happy. We shouted them out. So here's another shout out to you girls.
Their podcast is so cute.
Oh, and then we had Matt send us a really cool piece of mail, which is interesting that we got mail from Matt because Matt is the mailman. Hey guys, my name is Matt and I'm actually a mail carrier in Hanover. I just finished your episode on the red-headed hitchhiker and heard your conversation about Redman in Hanover. I can confirm Redman is a real living person. I deliver to his house. I also deliver to Yellow Man. So yes, they're crazy, but not ghosts. I'll be getting you my drive-by soon. But in the meantime, I love your show. You guys are doing an amazing job. Also wondering where Amelia worked in the mall. Haha, because I worked at the cinema for 7 years. And then he is going ghost hunting very soon at Wilson Castle in Vermont. So he's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your message, Matt. Okay, our next message comes from Tanner Cape. Hey, I live in Minnesota. And there's an Anoka Insane Asylum, and there's a cemetery there. I know it sounds dumb because you probably hear about that all the time, but you guys should look up the history. It's crazy. I don't know where you are based out of, but it would be really cool if you could come here because I've personally seen stuff there and heard many things. Let me know. So Tanner is going to send us his drive-by ghosting, hopefully in time for our Halloween episode to tell us all about his experiences in the Acona Insane Asylum.
And Tanner?
Mm-hmm.
So Tanner, being ghost hunting in New England, we are based in New England. And as much as we would like to come to Minnesota and see your cemetery and insane asylum, it's kind of far away.
But we can have Josh from Minnesota who sent us that cool. Remember we got that drive-by ghosting about the guy who saw the UFO with his mom? His name's Josh. He's from Minnesota. That was great drive-by ghosting.
All right. So, yeah, we should connect those two. Send us video when you go out to the cemetery.
I feel like we had something else, and I just can't remember it. So if you send us something else, I really apologize. Yeah, I think that's all we got.
All right. All right. So with that in mind, next week is our big Halloween episode. So if you want to get a drive-by ghosting on the Halloween episode, make sure that you get it to us by Wednesday. No, the episode comes out on Wednesday.
Thursday?
Maybe
we should record Saturday to give
get
people time to get their
Saturday.
Yeah, get it by Saturday.
So I guess as far as you're concerned, it would be this Saturday, but that's going to be October 24th. We'll record the big Halloween episode on October 24th for release on the 28th.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you want your drive-by ghosting in there, you have to get it to us by Saturday the 24th. And we would love to have it. The more, the better. How do you send us that drive-by ghosting, you might ask? You can email it to ghosthuntinginnewengland@gmail.com.
We are on Facebook at Ghost Hunting in New England. We are in Instagram at Ghost Hunting in New England.
Make sure to leave us a 5-star review wherever you like to listen to your podcasts and leave us some sort of message that we can read. We really like doing that.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Everyone, please stay safe, stay well, and as always,
happy hunting.